Welcome to Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast. I'm your host, Dave West, codename Phantom Troublemaker.
I am your co-host, Noel Wood, codename Crapshoot.
And I'm your Cobra intern that literally just had to take a second to realize, we're live streaming tonight. Codename Legion Cub.
And on that note, the memberships done for on hiatus, we'll call them. It didn't work out. There are a ton of reasons. The two most significant ones are, one, the channel's numbers actually went down over the month that I was offering memberships. I do not know the reason behind that, but I can't have my normal numbers being affected in that way. And it's something I've got to play around with a little more and figure out what the concept needs to be. And I think probably get the channel's numbers. Maybe you need to be at 10,000 subscribers before you can launch something like that. I don't know. But on many levels, it was not working out. So now we get every other week-ish, you get the live streams, back to audio-only episodes, but still plenty of content here, plenty of content on the Needless Things YouTube channel. All of the new classified, the most recent wave, the reviews are up. The Reaction Plus reviews will finally be going up next week. Well, some of them next week, because I just got, this is not G.I. Joe related at all, but these are two of the best looking action figures I've ever seen in my life. This is from Powertown Wrestling. I know you can't really see them thanks to the glare on that way too shiny plastic, but it's Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, and these figures look like little people. Like, it's nuts how good these look. It's from Powertown Wrestling, who it's run by Magnum TA and the people who ran Remco, which was one of the original wrestling lines with the old AWA figures.
And those WWF figures that Mattel was doing were like in the style of those Remco figures, because they're almost like Masters of the Universe style.
Right. Well, and that's those AWA figures were not like many other things in the 80s, were a knockoff of the Masters of the Universe figures because that style was popular. Wreckship, you're demoted. What's below private?
Wreckship 85, for our listeners, said all action figures look like little people. Technically, you said what we were all thinking.
Is that right? Is that right, Wreckship? They all look like little people. All the action figures do. What about this? Does this look like a little people to you? Is that a little people?
Yeah.
I just held up a Cubert.
Wait, does that Cubert have any articulation?
No, it does not.
Then it's not an action figure.
What is happening with our screen?
I think you have to have at least 1 point of articulation to be an action figure.
That is not technically correct. I have years of previews offering of articulation-free action figures to prove you wrong on that point.
McFarlane toys.
Does this look like a little person?
You guys are just aggravating me even more than one of our sound-offs already did. I'm going to be so enervated by the end of the show, I'm going to set this thing on fire. So everybody stay tuned to see what I'm talking about with that. All right. So, yeah, memberships are done, but it's not going to the public content is going to remain the same. Still going to be reviewing all the comics, still going to be doing live streams, everything else, all the action figure reviews. So just stay tuned. Wherever you are listening to the audio version of this episode, be sure you subscribe to Audible Interlude. Give us a 5-star review and share, like, subscribe, do all the stuff. That is clearly the best, least interferable way that you can promote the show. They don't like it when we start getting money involved, but they can't do anything about your likes and your shares. So that is the best way to help us. Interviews, some incredible interviews have gone up recently. Michael Charles Hill, who is the creator of Special Mission Brazil and specifically Claymore. He wrote Cold Slither, but he also wrote Return of Optimus Prime and many other Sunbow. He was a big part of Sunbow, it turns out, which I did not realize. Fantastic fantastic interview. I can't wait to talk to him again because we really only scratched the surface. And he has a story about a gem episode, or actually some information about a gem episode that I thought was very fascinating. We had a good conversation about that as well. So everybody check that interview out. It's available. The video version is available right now on the channel. The audio version, wherever you find your podcasts, with that special Needless Things exclusive intro. And then this Wednesday, wherever you listen to Audible Interlude, the stripped down version will be available there. So check it out. And again, share that thing around. We want to know about this interview with Michael Charles Hill. And then next week, I will be publishing the full interview with Andrew Lee Griffith, who we first spoke to at Dragon Con on that panel with Larry Hama. This one focuses completely on Andrew's career in comic books, which goes back much further than I realized. And again, is very prolific. It was another great conversation about G.I. Joe, Transformers, all the stuff that we love here, including some stuff about IDW's Revolution. Really great conversation. I feel very fortunate to be landing all these interviews right now. It's exciting to have everybody talking to me. And actually, speaking of comic book, I also did an interview with Tim Seeley, whose creative roots are in the DDP G.I. Joe stuff, in which he revealed that Hack Slash was basically funded by the success of the G.I. Joe comic. So that was an interesting thing to, which I kind of knew, but it's, again, talking to these people, getting the stories from back in the day is awesome. It's what I love doing. Like, as much as I love doing these live streams, talking to you guys, hanging out, doing these interviews is just my tip-top favorite thing in the world. Rachel Salinas says, your Zyka Giant Leap interview was great. I'm hoping to take part in their pre-order. Yes, check that one out as well. As was brought up months ago on the show, Zyka Toys and Giant Leap Toys are offering an upscaled modern version of the classic Eagle One from Space 1999. And the thing looks incredible. And we did a great interview. We've got visual aids in there of what their Eagle is going to look like. Theirs is called the Eagle 1976. And there are 3 different versions available, and each one of them is awesome. It's going to be tough. Well, I want the dinky one, but you'll have to listen to the interview to find out exactly what that means, or go to zykatoys.com. We have shirts available. Well, first up, our next live stream is going to be February the 24th. So tune in to that, put it on your calendar, and of course, follow Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. We will keep you updated on content, dates, everything else you need to know. The Cobra Intern shirt is still available while you're at Audible Interlude Podcast on Instagram. Go to those pinned stories and order yourself a Cobra Intern shirt. And worth mentioning, I will be in Chattanooga at Con Nooga, not this weekend, but next weekend, February the 22nd. I will be showing my documentary film Troublemaker and hosting a Q&A afterwards. And if you're in the Chattanooga area, please do come out, because I don't know anybody in Chattanooga. It's going to be a long, lonely weekend of just me on my own showing my movie. And granted, going somewhere to talk about me is one of my favorite things to do. But it would be
Chattanooga is a good city, though.
And if you show up there in Needless Things or Audible Interlude swag, I will give you some free stuff. So show up for that.
Are they still doing that at the Choo Choo Hotel? Or is it somewhere different
now? You know what? I don't remember off the top of my head. It's I think it's the something convention center. It's kind of like Joe Fest, where there's an attached hotel there's a Marriott hotel attached to the convention center. Well, here, I'll look it up right now because I feel like the people need to know.
Yeah. Last time, because it's a fun little convention. Last time I was there was 10 years ago.
It is at the Chattanooga Convention Center. And as I said, the Marriott Hotel at the Chattanooga Convention Center is the place to stay. But, if you're in Atlanta, that's not a bad drive at all.
Yeah, that probably means it's grown some since I last went to, which is good because said it deserved it.
Yeah, it's for everything. People have been telling me for years to go do stuff there, but on my old work schedule, I was always working the weekend of Connuga. So like coordinate, and this was the problem at every convention. If I was planning to work, then I had to put in to do a panel, not knowing for sure I was going to be able to take the weekend off, but not wanting to take the weekend off until I knew I was doing a panel. So there was this like, it just wasn't viable. But now that my weekends are open always, I can actually plan stuff like that, which brings me to the next appearance I will be making, which is FrankenCon in Knoxville, Tennessee. On my birthday, May the 10th, I will be once again surrounded by strangers and sharing my documentary film Troublemaker.
Just doing the whole tour of Tennessee.
Well, get this, Kristian and Noel. Oh, wait, I can't. Oh, I'll have to tell you guys off air because I can't announce it yet because it hasn't been announced yet. But remind me as soon as we go off air to tell you guys whose panel I'm hosting at FrankenCon. You will.
I was not thinking it was going in that direction at all. I thought we were going in a Schitt's Creek direction, and you were going to be like, I bought a town in Tennessee.
I am not
population 10 people.
Yes, the guy who's scrabbling for YouTube memberships bought a town. That math works out.
I'm from Kentucky. I know how small and cheap some of these towns are.
Well, you're right. I could probably get a deal, especially in the coming. Never mind. We're not going to get into all that. So anyway, that's coming events. We have a little teeny tiny bit of news before we get to the sort of the meat of the show today. And this happened today, so we almost weren't going to have even this to talk about. But around 10 o'clock this morning, Big Bad Toy Store posted on Instagram that pre-orders for the Fatal Fluffy and Raymar Reaction Plus figures were open. They were not. Somebody jumped the gun by several hours. But it was a fortunate clue to pay attention to all the other websites the rest of the day. So Super 7 finally put up James Remar. Oh, that's what I was going to do today. You guys, my day job interfered with your content tonight because I was going to design a James Remar card back to show on the show. And I didn't get to do it because I was way too busy with the day job. So, but Super 7 put them up. Now, they were in stock on Super 7. I would imagine they'll ship very, very soon because Super 7 usually has a pretty fast turnaround for stuff like that.
Yeah, they had 5 days, I think, was the turnaround on it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it said, well, that's the slowest shipping was 5 days. So it'll probably ship out, in the next day or two.
Yeah, typically Super 7 ships like next day with stuff that I've ordered from them. But they have the full set of Wave 2 with Dukes or Pentor, Raymar, and the Fatal Fluffy. They also have just the Fatal Fluffy and Raymar. And I was checking to see if they still have... Yeah, the Fatal Fluffy by itself is still in stock. So if you're a nut like me and want multiples of that, you can go and get it.
I was so nervous. Like, I got that text from Super 7, and so I clicked the link, and I was like, I just have to buy, just, because I figured they were going to sell out very, very quickly. And the link that Super 7 texted was for the Fatal Fluffy and Raymar, who I didn't really have a lot of interest in getting, but that, oh my God, I don't have time to I'm just buy this. And then after I made my purchase, I went back to the website and was like, oh yeah, they are selling it individually.
Well, I was lucky enough to, as I showed you guys, I found a Raymar in a Target this past weekend. And it was a Target I don't normally go to. I don't go to Target that often at all. But I happened to like run by the Container Store to check on something, and turned out I didn't need to. But it's a good thing I went because I stopped in the Walmart right across, or the Target right across the street, and they had one. But when that went up today, I was thinking, well, I can order them off of Super 7. They're going to get here while I'm out of town. I'm going to San Diego. There's a Super 7 store, like, within 100 yards of where I'm going to be staying.
You're going a few months early, right?
Oh, yes. I'm going for a work convention. But there's a Super 7 store, like, within 100 yards of where I'm staying. So I'm going to stop in there. I'm sure they're going to have it, and it's going to be so rewarding to find them in the store.
Yeah.
However, I was also like, I could buy them on Big Bad. I could wait till they hit my pile of loot, and I could ship them with some other things. Or apparently they're going to go up on Amazon later. They're right now still a premium on Amazon.
Yeah.
But I had to buy them. It was like the FOMO just hit me hard, so I wound up buying multiples on Super 7's website today. And that's the thing is, I kind of wish that I had just bought like 2, and then waited. And
how many did you buy?
I bought 4 because I figured I was going to get 4. With shipping and tax, it's another $17-$18.
It'll still be fun finding them in the store, though.
Yeah, I wish I just bought 2 though, so I could feel justified with buying 2 while I was there.
Yeah. Kristian, I'll tell you, once you get Raymar in hand, I think you'll be very happy you got him.
Yeah,
he is very cool,
and he's the best face sculpt they've done thus far.
Yeah.
Wojtash says Raymar looks pretty close to the size of Northlord from the D&D Advanced Figure line, and I have to say, Wojtash, I love the fact that someone can use that description and my brain immediately knows what size you're talking about. So, honest to God, thank you.
I've got to look this up now. I don't know who that is. How big is he? What is he, like 5 inches? He looks big.
Yeah, it's from the second wave, so they're not quite 6.
Okay. Yeah, Raymar is not quite that big, but he is big. I mean, he's a big figure. He's big. Anyway, review coming soon. So yeah, that later in the day, I think it was around 2:00, they went up on Big Bad for pre-order to ship in March, which you guys, I don't know if you know this or not, March, right around the corner. What is happening?
Yeah.
We are all the GIF from Last Crusade. All right.
Well, January is so long that it just seems like February flies by.
January was eternal. We're in January Mark II right now.
And February is the shortest month, so we're 10 days in, but we're almost at the end. It seems.
So yeah, that's it for the news. That is
a lot last week.
Yeah, right. Now I'm kind of wishing we had done the segments episode last week and saved our news, but then we'd be so far behind. But that's okay, because we have a relatively massive topic to take up some time this week. If anybody hangs out on histank.com, it is one of my favorite places to get thoughts, opinions, ideas about the G.I. Joe community. And right now, HisTank is once again doing their March Madness tournament, where HisTank members select 16 G.I. Joes and 16 Cobras. And I will reiterate that it is explicitly stated that it is 16 G.I. Joes and 16 Cobras. And
because there were a lot of characters that I had to end up scratching off, so I'm not going to have any problems.
Well, put them back on. But it's amazing. What blows me away about HisTank is the amount of work some of the folks in that community do for things like this. I'm actually looking right now to see who's. So Destro, who is one of the moderators and one of the bigwigs at His Tank, started this thread. And what they do is everybody that wants to nominates 16 and 16 picks of what they want to see in classified. Like they're essentially their top 16 from Joe and from Cobra, which gets a little difficult for me personally because if I want to list a Dreadnought, well, that's not a Cobra to me. But I understand they've got to keep it in two categories. You can't break off into all of the little sub factions. So it's basically good guys, bad, but like October Guard. I don't want to put October Guard under Joe, but they're certainly not Cobra. That kind of stuff is what gives me trouble in the brain.
Well, that just lets you know they'll never get made.
No, don't say that. You shut your dirty mouth. So anyway, 16 and 16. So what we have done is I sent out a message. Well, first I sent out a message saying, hey guys, looks like we're not going to have much content for Monday. Let's each pick our top 5 classified wants, and we'll go into detail on them. And we've got a whole other segment that's going to be next week. That's a different classified conversation that we were going to do 2 weeks or last week. They got booted, but we'll be doing that next week. But the top 5, we could have spent some time talking about that, but then His Tank threw this up, and I was like, oh, well, there's like 40 minutes of conversation, especially once you throw the people hanging out in the chat, because we want to hear from you guys too. Who are your top wants from classified? Start throwing them up there now, and we'll talk about them. And I didn't specify rules, though, because sometimes when we're doing something like this, I feel like we need to narrow things down, or we've got to really explicitly talk about, are we just picking characters who already have had figures in past Joe lines? Are we picking anything from the mythology? And to me, this is anything goes, because the Joe team has stated everything is fair game. So they're not just pulling from 82 to 94, obviously, because we've already seen characters like Kamakura and stuff like that. I could not think of another example right off the top of my head. I know there are more. What was that, Noel? Noel, you're muted.
Agent Helix. Sorry.
Agent Helix. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Shooter. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I thought let's just leave it wide open and see what the guys come up with, because of course I always like seeing Kristian's suggestions of like an obscure early Joe from 1921 that nobody actually knew about before G.I. Joe was even a brand.
And now I'm marking Silent Joe off my list. Thank you.
Pegleg Pete, the Joe pirate. It's a figure carved out of driftwood by a young Nordic boy. I would buy that actually in classified. Let's go. We need a pirate. Like, I know we've got Shipwreck, but we need like a legit pirate.
Zanzibar is a pirate.
Yeah, when you're right. Get him.
Yeah. But he's still Dreadnought-y. Like, I'm talking like now modernized, but still a pirate. I would love to see that with like a hook hand and a peg leg and maybe an evil poly that actually has articulation and stuff. All right. So anyway, I hope everybody's got the idea of what we're going to do here. We are not doing the full tournament. We're just going to list our 16 from each side, talk about them a little bit, and just see where the conversation goes. We may do a little inside Audible Interlude tournament in March when the March Madness will actually take place. But for now, we're just listing our picks and seeing where it goes. And we've already got some folks in the chat. Wreckship 85, top 5 Joes, Lifeline, Muskrat, Wetsuit, Topside, Hit and Run. Solid. Rachel Salinas. Oh, he was giving me Helix, absolutely, from outside of the 82 to 94. And then Wreckship, top 5 Cobras, Blackout, Scalpel, Cobra Shock Trooper, Hydro Viper, and Burnout. Also very solid. Okay, so I think let's start with our Joes. and we'll just each of us will list all 16, but we'll kind of discuss, like if there's anything to discuss or whatever, or if we have common picks, we can certainly, talk about that as well. Kristian, since you had, well, you said you've got plenty though.
Yeah, I've been adding the ones back into my list.
Okay. Well, Noel, do you want to start our Joes?
I can start the Joes.
Okay.
Let me get my notes back up here. All right. So for the Joes, I'm going to have to start with, which one am I starting with? I got to start with I got to start strong. I'm going to start with Combat Freighter Pilot Space Shot version 1 from 1994.
Oh man. Let's see. Oh, you know what I should do? Just for fun. Oh, of course I got to put Space Shot G.I. Joe in. Here, we're just going to go to Yojo. Excuse me.
Oh.
Let's
Tom Selleck in space.
He looks like it's like on the battleship Yamamoto or something.
Yeah.
This is going to be tricky as to how to zoom in on the figure, though. Let's see. What year is he? 94?
94.
This might actually work better if we do it this way. He is great. Oh, it doesn't.
Doesn't
maybe
expand.
Okay, maybe we go.
You have to go to the other
Joe's
versions,
then.
I think.
No, I'll tell you what we'll do is this. We'll go to the top tier. Whoa, what is happening? We'll go to the top tier, very best G.I. Joe website. What is he? Star Brigade?
He is he Star Brigade?
Well, here we'll.
Yeah.
Wait, what year was he again?
Yeah, 1994.
Star Brigade.
Oh, he was 94. Okay. Here, we'll just do this. Star Brigade. I'm excited about this guy. I want a good close-up view of him. There he is. Look at that. Ooh, look, he's got a grappling hook backpack because, of course, when you're in space, your number one need is a grappling hook, right?
Yes. And a mustache.
Look at that nice chest situation there, like the flat, whatever that shirt is called. Oh, he's great. Let's get absolutely. All right, what's up next?
He had to be my first choice. All right. Second on my list, I'm going to go with Beachhead version 3, also from 1994.
Oh man, Battle Corps, right? Yeah. Why? Okay, this is not navigating particularly well. That's what I need to do. Beachhead 19. Oh, yeah, that's. I mean, look, that figure is complete ass, but in classified, I could see it being really cool. What was your thought process here?
I mean, we got to get those colors popping there, Lenny.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
He's got the bizarre sculpted facial detail under a mask, so it looks like he actually has like lizard skin or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's regulation, but then again, a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I dig this. I would love to see how this is interpreted and classified, but only if he comes with a gigantic spring-loaded rocket launcher like that.
Yeah.
We've got Rachel dropping in saying top 5 Joes: Ace, Keelhaul, Deep Six, High Tech, and Tiger Claw. I like it. All right. What year is up next?
I'll stick with my 94 since we're already on that page. Baby. That'll help. How about version 4, Communications Expert, Dial Tone?
Yes.
Ooh, now that helmet is awesome. I am on board for this. And for anybody
Yeah.
listening and not watching the video version, which I mean, you can watch. This is in perpetuity on the Needless Things YouTube channel, so you can go check it out right now. But for anybody just listening, he has got what I would best describe as, if you're familiar with the band Neon Warlords, and you should be, this is a Neon Warlords-esque helmet. It looks like a samurai helmet with like futuristic lenses in it.
That is the same mold that they use for the Fun School dial tone. It's just the colors are, pun intended, dialed way up. If he wasn't on the other side of the room, I would grab him. So no, I am totally on board with him.
That's a great portrait on him too. I like it.
Yeah.
Like it looks, a lot of the times the heads, like you look at these characters that are supposedly updates of characters we know, and you look at the portrait and you're like, this looks nothing like, what are they doing here? But this, like, actually, aside from the fact that his hair is brown instead of black, I mean, this is a believable update of dial tone, I would say.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll go back a year we'll go to 1993 since I've got these kind of lumped together by year right now. He's one of our most popular characters. We've already gotten 2 great figures. We need a version 3 survival specialist Outback from 1993.
Ooh. Is he Battle Core?
I believe so.
My gosh, look how many figures. Wait, which one? There's a version 3 and a version 4.
Version 3
version
is the
3,
one I chose. But really, who knows? Version 4 might be better.
Oh, those pants are... What an eyesore. Have you done this costume?
I have not done this costume, but
I think you should.
I have been tempted when getting into my Battle Core era Joes.
Man, and Noel,
this has Noel written all over it.
You can be happy to know I'm now taking him off my list.
Okay.
Because he was on there.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going after Noel because none of my picks are as exciting as this. This right now, top tier pick.
All right. Sticking with 93. We're going to go with, you know what? This is a classic because you need fish puns with your Fisherman Joe. Version 3 Missile Specialist Bazooka is on my list.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you've really lost your mind on this one.
Oh, wait, hang on. Yes, this is the version 3. Yes, so here's Bazooka with his fishing gear. The file card for this one, he mentions shooting fish in a barrel, and he also makes there's another fish pun in there as well. So clearly they knew what they were doing.
Why is Carson got him doing like a high kick with his giant rocket launcher?
Yeah.
And obviously for anybody watching or anybody listening, we're looking at 3djoes.com right now for our references. This is wow.
He's a classic. All right. Another classic character we have not yet gotten in Classified. We're hoping to get that 87 version, but what if we get the 1993 Law version 3 MP Military Police?
What if we do? Oh boy. I notice it just says Law. Am I about to get angry?
You probably will, because there with Law comes no order, unfortunately. But you know what? It's not like Lenny hasn't given us some animals where they don't belong.
This is wild. This is almost like Cops and Crooks looking.
Yeah. He's got some, when I looked at that figure, I said, yeah, that is definitely a logical update of the 1987 Law figure that we all loved. That we all had manning our checkpoint alphas.
Oh boy.
Yes, I believe this is he part of the drug enforcement
Mm-hmm.
Or no, he was Battle Core. He was Battle Core.
Yeah. All right. Looking at things like this, it's a little harder to understand people's outrage over those mech suits in the live action movie.
There was another character that used that same shield thing. Because I thought they were part of. Oh well.
Yeah, there is one that has a very similar.
Because there's a Cobra.
Yeah,
I thought.
I think you're right. All right,
Hmm.
what you got next, Noel?
All right, we got one more from '93. Another one we've already gotten. He's a vehicle driver. We're going to go with the Monster Blaster APC driver from 1993, which is Clutch Volume 3.
So
Take
bright.
him off mine.
So bright, so colorful. And that's what we'll do as we go along, is because this is obviously going to take us some time. We'll just
I love that Noel and I are on this same wavelength.
I am shocked. Look at those pants.
I want to know what's going on with those pants. Like, has he got like tie-dye underneath like the orange?
They were playing around with what they could do with plastics at this point, because we saw the same thing on one of your other picks.
Yeah, because when you have him in hand, because I got him at Joe Fest last year, it looks like the plastic has just like warped. Like it doesn't look like anything that's on purpose, even though it is.
Well, it was just a different way of portraying camouflage, I think, as they were trying blending.
Oh, well, thank God he's wearing bright neon orange, and he's concerned about being camouflaged.
You gotta have a solid military base coat. Okay, yeah. I will say though, I was on board with this at first, but the deluge of this it's a lot. It's a lot. Wotaj correctly pointing out he fell into the sherbet. Who else we got? Travis Furborn, Voltar, Interrogator, Cesspool, Dr. Venom, and an alternate Clay Moore.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're getting some good Iron Grenadier stuff. We're gonna get a Voltar soon with that big old vulture. You know, Lenny's dying to make one.
Jeff Butler said we already have that beachhead, but it's called Wolf Spider. Until he's in those colors, it is not that beachhead. All right, what's next?
All right, next we'll go 1 year before that, 1992. I have one representative from that year, which is a character we have not yet gotten yet. So let's start with version 3, Deepwater Specialist, Deep 6.
Let's see. He is an eco warrior or eco warrior.
Yes, he is an eco warrior.
The ones who protected the economy.
Wow.
Is that what is his all right. I think a couple of times Carson has dropped in on the show, usually when we're talking about something he was directly involved with. I wish we could have had him on for this, because I just want him to explain some of these poses. These figures.
This is I'm completely visible on the battlefield. Just shoot me.
Yeah, I am a target. Okay, so oh my gosh, he comes with
the dolphin,
the world's angriest dolphin. a great.
And this is one throughout my entire history with Joe that I can say is too much, even for me.
I misread this initially. It says a gray dolphin named Finback. I'm all about this figure. I will be looking for this at Toylanta. I've already got a list of things that I need to find at Toylanta for a very special episode we're going to be doing this year. But this is on my list because this is amazing. I am back on board, Noel.
All right. You know, that's my goal, is to get you.
Well, you want everybody. We want everybody to agree.
Should we do all 16 at a time, or should I let someone else? Because I don't want to take a bunch of other picks. Or that was 8. I can keep going.
Well, no, but if you've got more wacky stuff, let's alternate a little bit. So I'll do my 8 next. Oh, I've got to figure out how to do this while I'm sharing my screen. Let's see. Ooh. I'll tell you what. Can one of you guys pull up 3D Joe's and do a screen share while I'm going through my list? Because I can't do both at the same time.
I can try.
Although I'll tell you, my first 5 picks are not going to require a whole lot of effort. And anybody who knows this show knows what they're going to be. Here, I'll just run through my first 5 while you're doing that.
Okay.
Because most people should know what they are and certainly know what they look like. So my first 5 picks are from 1986, Wetsuit, Mainframe, Dial Tone, Leatherneck, and Claymore from Special Mission Brazil. Those are, and I know we've already got Dial Tone and Leatherneck, which means we're 2/5 of the way there. I believe Mainframe.
They haven't even announced him yet.
He's not even pipeline. I think he's been like strongly rumored, but I don't think he's even pipeline yet. But those are my 5. Like, if those come out and then the line ends and we get nothing else, I'm okay with it. I really, really want those Special Mission Brazil figures in classified. That set means
that's your next Walmart or Target exclusive right there.
Right. But I do want it to be a 5-pack, which I know is kind of pushing things, but I really want those badly in classified. And then my number 6, is anybody ready with 3D Joe's?
Sure.
Do you know how to do a screen share?
If I can, let's
go to
see. Present. Share screen. Chrome tab, 3D Joe's. All right.
Yes.
All right. Who
All right.
we got?
So you're going to 1988.
88.
And you're going to scroll down to mail order.
Of course.
And my number 6. And this, look, I understand how little sense this makes. He doesn't have the little rotation thing on this guy. Or does he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does.
I understand with my complaining about the vac metal on Cobra Commander that this makes no sense. But if we get this guy in all of his vac metal glory, 1, it's going to be spectacular. And 2, old Super Trooper is going to be a nice, like, the more you have of a look on the shelf, the more it normalizes that look. Like when you got your first Tiger Force figure, it was weird. When we got the first retro figure, it was weird. But now that we've got lots more of the different sublines, like it makes the singular things seem more acceptable. So what we need is just a ton of vac metal on the shelf for me to think that Cobra Commander's faceplate is more acceptable. So that's my number 6, is 1988 mail away Super Trooper infantry, which is kind of hilarious. Will R is correct when he says he will be glorious. All right, let's see. Next up, Noel, take us to 2005.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes.
Do we have 2005?
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. 3D Joe's is only the original. Only the original stuff.
Well, let's see.
Hero stuff. Okay, so let's.
2005 G.I. Joe.
Screen away. Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Yojo for this one.
Okay.
You got it pulled up?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Toys. All right. 3 3/4
So to get back
figures.
to Super Trooper, obviously Super Trooper, I feel like he needs to be a deluxe figure, but just because of the vac metal. But at the same time, as I've mentioned many, many times on the show,
I'm on 2005.
Mattel has done vac metal stuff in the Masters of the Universe Origins line, and they've been standard release things. All right, you ready to share, Noel?
Yep.
Because we are looking for 2005's Bomb Strike.
Ah, yes.
And
which is
there
one
was,
that I'm surprised has not yet made it into the line.
Yeah, I am too a little bit. There was a Collector Club Bomb Strike, but I like the look because you got to remember this is going to be classified up, and I like the overall look of this one more than the later release. The later release is 25th anniversary style. And to me, this one looks a little more distinctive because it's not going to be the big shoulder, it's not going to be this 2005 look. So yeah, I would like with the t-shirt. This to me is the Bomb Strike look. I really dig this one. And of course, so that brings me to 7. And so my 8th one, you can't have Bomb Strike without 2003's Barrel Roll, her sibling. Because of course there's, if you go back to those DDP comics, all the drama between Bomb Strike, Barrel Roll, and somebody who may or may not have made my Cobra list. We'll find out. Should be up there at the top.
Where is Barrel Roll?
Oh yeah, he is. No, he is
2003. Because these are
he's
not
a driver
listed alphabetically.
or is he a deluxe? He might be a deluxe. Well, anyway, to be honest, figure not that interesting. Deluxe. I mainly want the character.
Barrel Roll.
Yeah,
there
deluxe.
He is.
That's it. So with these 3, now I do think Bomb Strike is a cool looking character, but to be honest, Blackout and Barrel Roll, I think part of wanting to see them as in classified is to see them updated. But this is more about me wanting these characters than it is about me wanting these specific figures, if that makes sense. Although I do want him to come with his cool Cobra glider.
It would be a deluxe figure. There you go.
Absolutely. Oh, but then they've got to introduce the spy troops element of it. So we need some classified spy troops. All right. I will resume the screen share. Kristian, if you want to list your top 8 Joes.
I do. Okay. So my first of the 8 is going to be Lightfoot. And I didn't write down the years for my. I just don't follow directions because I'm a rebel.
Look at me. 1988 Lightfoot. Yes, Lightfoot. I want that drone thing.
Yes. My number 2 is Frostbite. Whether we get the Snowcat or not, I want Frostbite.
Wait, am I in the right place? I'm in vehicles, so I'm definitely not in the right place. Oh my gosh, look at me knowing these dates. That's what hosting a G.I. Joe podcast for 5 years will do to you, is you have a relatively decent idea of when figures came out. Yeah, I agree. We need Frostbite. He is a solid pick. Not the most exciting character in the world, but we also just need more Arctic troops. We need more environment stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And since Noel took Clutch from me, then I am tossing in Mega Marines Mirage. And that is 90.
3, I think. Right. Yep. Look at that. 93. Oh, look at the I wish we could get closer up.
The
on that head.
visor.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got your moldable bio armor.
Yep.
Which we don't necessarily need to be awesome if they did. But I just need that very sci-fi visor.
So we don't have, yeah, I totally agree. That visor is incredible. So we don't have an image of what he looks like with the moldable bio armor on.
Right.
Like you can kind of infer it a little bit from the mold on
as
there.
I learned from Joe Fest, you can buy a figure that still has their moldable bio armor, and when you
Right.
open it up, it will not be. I mean, it'll be bio, but
and look,
hazard.
He's got that same tie-dye camo effect
on
his pants. Well, I guess that's the Mega Marines thing, is they've got I mean, look, these are brightly colored Colonial Marines. That's basically what the Mega Marines are, which means I'm all for them. All right.
Well, speaking of brightly colored, next
so we're
up
staying in the 90s.
Well, no.
Oh.
Listen and Fun Tripwire.
Oh, yes. Oh, I don't know what is that 85? Well, he's not mail order. Yeah, there we go. 85. I mean, I want this, and look, he's right there for the taking because we've already got Tripwire. All they got to do.
I don't need him to be deluxe.
No.
Just straight out put him out like this.
Well, he can be deluxe if he comes with he just came with a cassette. He didn't have a book.
Yeah. So next is Deep Six version 2. And Lenny, don't be a coward.
Look at me.
You
guys, 89. I'm so proud of myself here. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You're fine. Give us that orange helmet.
You gotta have like translucent though.
Yeah, I do want to be able to see his face.
Yeah.
You
know what, Kristian? I can't agree because my feeling is that even on the original figure, the helmet should have matched that collar piece.
Oh, sure.
Like, I think if they had it to do over...
There's a reason it needs to stay orange, but we won't get to that until another character.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
so then I would, if I were doing this one in classified, he'd still have his little metal booties. I think these colors could be worked with, but I would give him an olive drab helmet with an orange translucent faceplate. I know that's blasphemy.
Okay.
I know that's blasphemy, but this would be rough on the eyes at 1/12 scale. This big orange helmet. Now, or if they wanted, or if they wanted to just make it a translucent orange bubble helmet.
Oh,
rather than like a diving helmet. Okay. All right. What's next? All
right. So next is Topside.
Now him, I have no idea what year he is.
1990, I believe.
Okay.
Either 90 or 91.
Look at 90. You. You were a champion of G.I. Joe. Oh, he's great. And we know Noel's a fan.
I have done a costume. It happens to be in our intro.
You're right.
I did not build the backpack, though, with the rocket launchers.
Look, as someone who spent many hours trying to build Dial Tone's backpack, I understand. Yeah, he's great. I'd love to. Now, is that helmet? It looks like it's kind of silvery, or is
No,
that
it's-
just this light?
It's a dull gray.
Like,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I'd love it if it was silver. I mean, I like it anyway. He looks good. I like him.
And it's a very standard, like, generic Army issue bucket.
Yeah. It's
The
Duke's
helmet-
helmet.
Not quite on his head though. No, that's not Duke's helmet.
Well, no, I mean
no.
it's that same, just standard.
It's got little ear covers down there. It is a, I don't know that it's unique, but it's definitely something different. But yeah, it's not fitting on his head very well. I like that.
I want to say the one on mine is incredibly tight too, because I don't display him with the helmet. There's a couple from that era that I'm always like, this is gonna just chip the paint.
Ooh, that's
right
scary.
off. Okay,
All right.
so next is Ambush.
Mm-hmm.
90? Yes.
Yeah.
90. Oh yeah. And he's going to be a deluxe too.
It's gotta have
Yeah,
that,
but I mean,
gotta have
like
that
they
ghillie
already
suit.
gave us the ghillie suit with the anniversary pack, so I feel
Right.
like he's right there.
And that
And
fantastic mustache with the connected mutton chops. Unique camo like this. It's almost surprising they haven't done him already. Because this is just going to have what a blast they're going to have designing this figure.
Yep.
Unique backpack with all the storage on it. That gigantic blaster on the back. But yeah, he's great. Look at even the helmet. It's got like wear sculpted into it. Yeah, he's going to make a really nice classified figure. All right, what does that bring us to?
All right,
and
my number 8 is going to be the most obvious of all. It's my Eagle Eye Joe.
Okay, well, we don't have that on 3D Joes, but everybody can Google Eagle Eye Joe. We know.
All right.
Okay, so that brings us back to Noel.
So, should I do 8 more Joes, or should I switch over to the other side for this one?
Let's go ahead and get the Joes out of the way, because we actually, looking at the time, we may only get through the Joes tonight.
All right.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and say with certainty we're only getting through the Joes tonight, because we're only halfway, and it's 9 o'clock.
All right. Well,
real quickly,
yes.
Jeff Butler says 1990 Ambush is only improved by becoming 2000 Sidetrack, which I consider Ambush version 3 because it is. So everybody, check out 2000's Sidetrack.
Well, I'll bring it up right now.
If he doesn't have the mutton chops, he's not an improvement.
I actually have that figure because that was my first. I've talked about it before on the show. That I was actively collecting 97 and beyond. And I have that Sidetrack figure, and that was my introduction to Ambush because I knew nothing about, I would say 89 was my cutoff for G.I. Joe. Like when I started collecting again in 97, I didn't know anything about the 89 to 94 Joes, aside from maybe some of the stuff I saw in KB, like the monsters and stuff. So the first time I saw Sidetrack, I thought, oh my gosh, look at this cool new character. With all these great accessories and without any knowledge whatsoever that he was actually, I actually have to switch which.
Yeah, actually looking at him, I will say I have seen him at conventions and legit, I just thought it was an Ambush variation. So
let's see.
In fact, I might actually like these colors better. I know they're really
I do
muted,
like
but
these. I like, yeah. Well, and they're both cool.
yeah.
And that's about as close up as we can get. Oh, wait. Here, we can do this. Maybe. Thanks for the zoom in. But anyway, yeah,
All good.
Sidetrack, definitely excellent figure. Sidetrack
Yeah.
V2, maybe not so much. Not as exciting. All right. Oh no, I've got to switch back over to. I'm not going to switch back over to 3D Joe's.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well, you might have to
Right,
for some
Noel?
of these because some of these might
Okay.
not be. Well, I guess they. Never mind. 3D Joe's they may not be on, but they should be on Yojo. So,
Oh, okay.
to start mine off, I'm going to go with another 1990 figure. I'm going to have a few more that are actual picks this time, and not me just trying to get the loudest colors I could. But 1990s Pathfinder is one that I definitely want to see. He is right there below your ambush.
Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a real sweetheart of a figure.
His weed whacker.
Well, that camo is what I love.
Yeah. Love the camo.
He's got
love
the hat.
hat.
Yeah, and let's see if we can get him geared up.
The machine guns that hang off of his hips.
Not loony at all.
No.
Completely reasonable character design with his weed whacker. He's the Joe's landscaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that. Although I fear he would be deluxe, and I don't know that deluxe Pathfinder is a big.
Is going to sell
for Hasbro.
It's not going to fly off the shelves. All right. Well, how about this one from 1987? We're not going to get a Defiant Space Complex, but we might get one of the figures that came with it, Hardtop.
Yeah, he looks great. I have always been a fan of this figure. I'm not, and look, it's just because of aging out or losing interest or whatever you want to call it. I'm not a Defiant fan by any means, but I've always liked this figure, and every time I see it, I think it's because of that. In my head, that the blue coveralls like that are very NASA-y.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something about his look that really, really works for his specialty for me. Like I think he's a particularly well-designed character.
Yeah. I always
and
appreciated him.
If I were to buy, I would imagine he's very expensive.
Yeah,
just
the
to buy
figures.
The figure.
Yeah, those figures are like a couple $100 a piece if you get them.
Especially with his stupid microphone. He's a microphone guy. So like, if I were to get just the figure, there's no way around the fact that I would want to have the Defiant.
Not in classified. Not in classified scale.
No, not in classified. Like the original.
Right.
But yeah, that would be my way to get him. Would be if they make him in classified. Well, then I can have that character. All right.
Next up, we're gonna do 1991. And we need, we haven't gotten a wetsuit yet, but, we're going to get all our Navy SEALs in eventually. So we're going to get a Tracker V1 from 1991.
Let's see. Oh, he's got, with the raft.
With the raft.
Heck yeah.
He would be a deluxe with an inflatable raft.
I want a classified inflatable raft. Now, not before I get my Manta, but I do want an inflatable raft for sure.
Now, I could see them doing that inflatable raft, and then you could sell it again as a Cobra Night Landing in blue.
Yeah, 100%. Look at his intricately sculpted knit socks.
And his
And
like
big
Reebok,
sneaker, his like right, his Reebok LA Lakers sneakers. He is something else. Didn't Sarah do this as a costume?
she did this as a
Okay.
costume for one of
Okay.
our photo shoots in Charleston.
He's got his drawstring pants on. His
Mhm.
this is what the kids call a look. That's
Look.
Lewk.
He's a vibe, is what he is.
You know, I got to tell you, this, despite all of the bright colors in your earlier picks, this might be your ugliest pick yet. Look at this card art. As a kid, how exciting would that card art be? Like, look how tough. Imagine you've just watched the Kevin Bacon classic, The River Wild, and you go into Richway and you see this hanging on the pegs. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh!
You'd have been like, wow, that's worth a lot of money because this hasn't been on the pegs for like 3 years.
Well, Richway hasn't been a store for quite a few years. But no, the River Wild. Well, no, River Wild came out in like
94.
late 80s, wasn't it?
94.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know my Kevin Bacon.
You know,
I could connect everybody to Kevin Bacon at one point.
So Tracker was not discontinued until 92. It would not surprise me at all if 92 Joes were still sitting around in 94.
It's possible.
Like, that doesn't seem totally unreasonable.
They overproduced a lot of figures between 93
although
94
probably
especially.
not the they probably didn't overproduce the one that came with an actual freaking raft.
Probably not.
All right, what's next?
All right. Next up, I'm going to go a little fun school, and I'm going to go Windmill fun school version.
Oh, yeah, of course. What country is he from?
He is India.
Yeah.
All right, all fun schools India, right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about Windmill on the show many times.
Somebody here's done a costume before.
So this image, by the way, from the collection of Patrick Stewart.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
Patrick
now,
Stewart,
do you have him all suited up? Because that's the key.
That's what I was looking for next. But I just wanted to mention, I bet most people did not know that Jean-Luc Picard, big collector of G.I. Joes from India.
Is he, or is he just a Windmill fan?
He might just be a Windmill fan. He's one of those weirdos who has a Detolf just full of Windmill. That's it.
Yeah.
No, we don't have him geared up here, and I would have to switch screens. And do too much.
But yes, he did come with a giant Windmill.
Whereas the original Windmill did not come with a windmill.
And is more garish than the Fun School version.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
going to stick with a Fun School one more time. We've already got the mold. But I want a Fun School barbecue.
Oh boy, I can't imagine how horrible this is going to be.
He's not that much different.
Please.
Really?
If you can tolerate Slaughter's Marauders barbecue, then
you know, he's got a little blue, but you know, again, better than the Mad Marauders version of barbecue, in my humble opinion.
Jeff Butler says that is Patrick, not Picard Stewart, of Articulated Points on YouTube. So everybody be sure to check out Articulated Points.
All right.
Definitely check them out, but don't ruin our fantasy.
What if we go watch it and it actually is Patrick Stewart, who's just got a YouTube channel about toy collecting, about windmill collecting? I got this windmill in 2002 when I was filming. All right. Anyway,
right.
Toyomic Displays. What's up? Usually listen on Spotify, but cool to be here live. Hope to meet y'all in Toylanta. Yes, Noel and I will 100% be at Toylanta. We're not doing anything there other than buying toys.
Well, I will be
but
there doing Finest.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'll be there with
yeah.
the Finest. I'll just be wandering around buying toys. Although I am interviewing some of the folks behind Toylanta in the coming weeks on the Needless Things YouTube channel. But Toyomic Displays, thank you for coming and hanging out live. Tell us what Joes you want. Yeah, everybody who's come in the last few minutes here, tell us what Joes you want to see in the classified line. That's what we've been talking about for the last 4.5 hours now. All right, so there's Drabacue. What do you got next?
From 1993, we're going back there again.
Back to,
one of the one of the characters that was supposed to be, one of the big iconic characters for the Joes, Colonel Courage, version 1.
Oh yes. Oh wait, whoop. Wait, where? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
With his tie. Give me that tie.
And you know what?
Give me that gigantic. I want to be clear here. All of these 90s era Joes that we're selecting, the classified version needs to come with a gigantic spring-loaded rocket launcher, and Colonel Courage's head better be gold.
Yes. But you know what? For a 1993 figure, minus all of his accessories, he's actually somewhat normal-looking military. Somewhat realistic until you give him all of his neon green weapons and his giant gold spring-loaded launcher.
Well, his neon green weapons that match his neon green belt and suspenders and holster.
So he has a fashion sense.
He does. It's interesting to note, though, one of the elements from the 90s that has been carried forward into classified is that all of the characters came with basically the same blaster loadout.
Mm-hmm.
That's me being a jerk. I'm kidding. I love you, Hasbro, and it doesn't bother me at all that the rifle has come with 10 figures. But no, I totally agree. You know what's interesting about Colonel Courage, though, is his helmet is not removable.
No.
I know we saw that a little bit in the line, but it's kind of unusual to see just a standard issue helmet that's not removable. Usually it's something special, like a specific piece of hardware, but it is a little weird that his is just part of his head. What does his hair look like underneath that helmet? If he gets produced and classified, we will find out.
It's true. All right. I think
White Vegeta says, I will take the entire crew of G.I. Joe Renegades with a wave 2 of the unproduced characters from the show, like Flint, Jay, Heavy Duty, and their version of Major Blood. Excellent call. I would see that, you mentioning that, I would like to see that kind of stuff as sublines going forward. We don't really need more Night Force, Tiger Force, Python Patrol. Let's start doing sublines of different versions of Joe. I think that could be interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I have 2 more to fill out my 16. I've narrowed down a few. I am going to go to 1995. That's right. We're going.
Oh no, we don't have a 95 on here.
Extreme. You got to look for the G.I. Joe Extreme.
Oh, okay. I know where you're going now. All right. You don't have to tell me. Well, which one though?
I need a version 1 Black Dragon Ninja Warrior.
Oh! I thought for sure you were going for Iron Claw.
Well, we're on Joe's.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, we're on the Joe's side right now. We haven't gotten to the villain side. And actually, I excluded Scar because Scar's not Cobra. But G.I. Joe is still G.I. Joe from G.I. Joe Extreme.
Yeah, you're right. You That wouldn't work. But Dreadnoks are not Cobra. Iron Grenadiers are not Cobra. Like,
but they at least
this
exist
is-
in the
this
same
is-
universe as Cobra.
This is what I was talking about before. These are problems. All right, so Black Dragon. Tell us about this. You just want that head sock.
So, I mean, this is the most 90s figure I think that G.I. Joe ever did. When I was looking at,
Really?
well, you know, first of all, he's a ninja. Second of all, he's wearing this, like, he's the figure's all buffed out like the mid 90s figures were. But he's got like the head sock with like the exposed hair all flowing out on top, which to me was just such a 90s motif we had there. He's got kind of the Liefeld
pouches on his feet.
The Liefeld pouches, and kind of looks like he has tiny feet too, so that might also be inspired by Rob Liefeld.
So you're saying he's all buff, so they do this on the Sergeant Slaughter buck, but he's a ninja.
Right?
He's a huge ninja. I like it.
Ninja warrior.
Fantastic.
And then my final Joe pick. If you get your way, this will be a very easy to do because it's a very easy recolor. We need Rapid Fire, who was from 1990.
Oh, I thought you were continuing. He's 1990.
No, 1990. Yeah, but Yo-Joe just died on me. The Rapid Fire site, the Rapid Fire page is dead.
I that should have immediately popped into my head because I went to the trouble of buying a Rapid Fire that was on the card, but not quite. If you guys remember, I think it might have been last year for a Joe and Tell because it still had the video cassette, like the bubble was lifting off of the card. So I was able to carefully extract. And the thing is, like, he's expensive to buy because nobody has his gear. And that was the only way I could get one complete for a reasonable price.
Also, seeing him and seeing Super Trooper, I could totally see them doing a movie just about this one character starring John Cena.
Yes. Let's go. G.I. Joe Origins Rapid Fire. I want it. Give it to me. Give me what I want. And Batista can be the bad guy. He's just some random thug. All right. I like it. So that means now somebody else has got to pull up.
I can do my 3D Joe's Yo-Joe.
And while you're doing that, let's see what we've got here in the comments. Tom Henry, I want Kayak Stalker. I agree. Stalker version 2 would be great. I think he's a sure thing because I think they're going to want to do that kayak or catamaran or canoe or whatever the heck it is. I don't even know. Toyomic Displays, Big Lob to complete that Renegades line, Flash and Grand Slam, finish out the OGs. And I will say, I will address that real quickly. Obviously, I would like to see the original Joes, the 1982 Joes in Classified. However, if I'm being honest and I get to pick, they're not prioritized for me over these other more interesting looking figures. That's just me. Well, apparently that's all three of us, but all right.
That's a good point, actually.
I mean, look, when I was picking mine, I was picking ones that I didn't think they were going to make.
I mean, look, I want to have Zap, Grand Slam, Flash, everybody. But if Lenny texts me back and is like, Dave, you can either have Zap or Lobotomax. You guys, I hate to tell you, I'm picking Lobotomax. That's just where I live. All right.
You either have Zap or 1994 Zap.
I would pick 1994 Zap. He's the one with like the silver armor, right?
Yeah.
I
think so, yeah.
Like crazy
he was
sound
on my
effect
list.
unit. Yeah, come on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are going to 1987. This will absolutely be a deluxe figure, but I gotta see Fast Draw in classified. As I have recently been graced with the privilege of ordering Rio Blast for the Masters of the Universe Origins line, and I need his G.I. Joe counterpart, Fast Draw. You know they're going to do a great job of that figure.
Got to get his full. Honestly, 3D Joe's is apparently uses
Very
less resources than
slow.
Yojo does, because Yojo is
ridiculously slow. Tom.Henry says, if Lenny texts you, you better say Fang.
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you this, Tom Henry. Up until earlier today when I saw your sound off, I would have said Fang. But now, I'm going to say Night Landing. No more Fang. We are anti-Fang here at Audible Interlude, thanks to you, Tom Henry. Everybody stay tuned for sound offs to find out what I'm talking about. So there's Fast Draw with his crazy rocket launching gear that would absolutely set his entire body on fire, regardless of how much padding he has. But I want to see that design in classified, complete with all those glorious tubes. Okay,
Metalhead needs an opposition.
Yes, absolutely. Next up, also 1987. This is when I was a kid, I didn't quite know what to make of this figure, but I always loved it, and that is Psych Out. He just had cool, interesting accessories. He looked different from everybody else. Deceptive warfare. Like I don't know what I made of that. Oh, look at that's interesting. I put those radar dish things on his wrists, not on his elbows. Where did you guys place those?
Wrists.
Oh, they're okay. They're on his wrists in the bottom.
I did not
pictures.
have him as a kid.
Yeah, those were definitely wrist pieces for me. But I mean, I
think
just
he was the
him
first figure I found. I think in '87 he was the first figure I found in the wild, and so I just bought him because I had $3 in my pocket and I wanted a new G.I. Joe figure.
Wojtek says, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more tubes. My friend, I share that fever with you. All right, next up, we are going 1 year in the 1 year past that to 1986, or I guess 1 year prior to that. And I need, we're sticking in 86 for a while here. Sci-Fi, I have been told, was confirmed by a reliable member of the His Tank boards. I'm shocked because he's in Operation Blackout. And you would think
he was part of the original marketing on the website.
Right. You would think he had been slated for release, but my guess is they went back to the drawing board and he just got pushed way down the line. But I need this neon green and silver. Always loved this figure. Yeah, I'm Sci-Fi. He's great, and I want to see him in classified. I don't see any reason for him to be deluxe. And I don't, honestly, aside from making him larger, I don't see a whole lot of updates to him either. So going to what apparently is just my favorite year of G.I. Joe, sticking with 1986, we need, can somebody throw me a lifeline? I want to use my lifeline. He was a big factor in the second season of the show. Well, maybe not a big factor, but he got focus in several episodes. lots of great accessories, great looking character. All that red and white is going to look really, really good on the shelf. I think they're going to do an awesome job with him in Classified. And since personally, I'm not super satisfied with the Doc figure, I'm hoping we can bring Lifeline in and make him a little more satisfying release for me.
Shocked they haven't done this one yet, honestly.
Well, finishing up 1986, before we move on to a different year, I think we all are hoping for Airtight. Preferably with, a lot of times people get bent out of shape because characters. Oh, is he 85? Oh my gosh.
He is 85.
Okay, so 85. Some people have gotten bent out of shape about some characters that don't have removable helmets, and I kind of don't understand it. But Airtight, I do think needs a removable helmet because he did get a significant amount of face time in the cartoon compared to other characters.
Well, and also, like, his helmet is so large that it could easily...
The 25th anniversary version, his helmet came off, I believe.
Yeah.
So
I would hope to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's...
Well, it's so large that it would be easy to mold it in.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, from 85, Airtight. But now we got to go to Noel's favorite year, 1993. And sharp-minded members of the Audible Army will know exactly who I'm going to. And that is Robo Joe, who's right up here on my shelf, always within arm's reach, because I love my Halloween spatter paint covered cyborg monstrosity, Robo Joe. Oh no, he's not going to show up. Well, that's okay, because I've got him right here. I don't know why you guys are disappearing when I do the layout is acting wonky tonight. But anyway, Robo Joe. I need Robo Joe in Classified before everything is said and done. Needs to happen. All right, let's put that back up. I don't know what's going on. Oh, now it fixes. Okay. So Robo Joe. Big one for me. Two more, and then we'll move on to Kristian and wrap this thing up because it's 9:30. Going back to 1985 for what I think might be kind of a surprise. It surprised me that I picked this, but I realized it's something that we cannot end Classified without this. We need a Snake Eyes version 2. They have not done a Snake Eyes version 2, in my opinion. We got two different ones that came with Timber, but they don't look like this. I need Snake Eyes in like tights with pouch anklets. We don't have that exact web gear. They have done that mask, or pretty darn close to that mask, but we just don't have this Snake Eyes in Classified, and I think we got to have it before the line ends. What do you guys think? Do you agree, or do we have enough Snake Eyes? Do we have close enough to this?
The only version of Snake, well, no, I shouldn't say only. There are two versions of Snake Eyes that I like. The first one and Goalie Snake Eyes. And we're getting ready to get him. From this point up until Goalie Snake Eyes, the character did nothing for me.
I've got my Snake Eyes up there, and it's the only one I need. They should make one that's a perfect homage to this figure, but I don't.
I feel like this is the most iconic version of Snake Eyes. This to me is the one I think most people would vote into a G.I. Joe Hall of Fame. And like I said, we don't really have it in classified. And then finally, 1988. One that at first glance might not be terribly exciting, but once you take a closer look, I took too long. Once you take a closer look at Repeater, I think there's a lot of fun to be had there, because I'm just imagining Lenny designing that, again, going back to Aliens and the Colonial Marines. I want Lenny to have the opportunity to design that rig, that steady cam machine gun, as it is, or as it's called. Repeater as a figure, not the most exciting thing in the world, but I want that accessory badly, and I want it to have all the detail, because obviously at 3 3/4 inch, like they did as good a job as they possibly could have done designing that thing. Like, it's as good as it could be. But for classified, just imagine, because if you look at some of NECA's Colonial Marines figures and how articulated those things are, I really would love to see it in classified, where, let's be honest, it's going to be sturdier than the NECA versions. It's going to be easier to move around, more functional, because basically those NECA versions, once you get the figures posed, you kind of don't want to touch them again, because something's going to pop out of joint or move in the wrong way. I need to see this accessory in classified. And also I do like Repeater's camo pattern. I like the digital look of his camo. Again, maybe he's not the most exciting, but we need that weapon. All right. That is the end of my Joe picks. I will resume control of the screen. Kristian, take us home.
Okay, so my number 9 pick, there's no link or photo for it. So Dave, in our private chat, I did send you a separate 3D Joe's page that has a link to my next one.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
look at this guy.
My number 9
I'm getting there.
Is, well, no, that's for number 10. I was giving you time.
Okay.
Because my number 9 is from Fun School, and it's Canary Ann.
Yes.
We got Glinda. We got Quarrel. I need Canary Ann, who is a repaint of Lady J with a red hat and a yellow jumpsuit. And this would be their opportunity to finally give us a good Lady
Are you saying
J
Canary
head sculpt.
Ann?
Yeah, Canary Ann. She was on my list too.
Is she Fun School?
Yeah,
she is.
Canary with a C?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She is not on this list.
Do a Google image search, because she's pretty easy to find on.
Yeah. Kotobukiya.
You just do Canary Ann, you're going to find because they made a statue of her.
Yeah.
Oh, well, here she's on Yojo. That's weird. All right, well.
But we need her to finish out.
Now, why has my screen
those
not
girls.
Updated to where I am? Let's do that. Oh, it didn't like that at all, did it?
In her April O'Neil jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So now, there we go.
Well, and look, I'll take that, because I feel we need an updated Lady J.
That's what I'm saying. This would be like the Night Force Falcon opportunity to give us a good Lady J head sculpt.
Yeah, do this new from the ground. Don't even use the same. No, I'm saying even the
body.
No,
yeah.
Everything. Do
make
new
it
Lady
look
J
like
from
a
the ground up. Right.
Right.
All right. Here we go. I've got your other.
Okay, so now we're going to 1977 Super Joe. He's going to be a deluxe figure because it is specifically going to be Magnetool Super Joe. And I don't necessarily need the battery power or wind up action, but a G.I. Joe that comes with a ginormous drill and circular saw to fight Cobra, that is awesome.
Well, and his armor business he's got going on here. Like, I do kind of want them to find a functionality for the battery pack on the back of the armor. Like, I like the idea of that being something
That big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's part of the profile of the character. I think you
make
have to
that
have
little
that.
make that little electronic saw that spins.
I mean, honestly, yeah, if you were going to keep it like that, it would be super super easy to do. But
Yeah, I think you have to, even if this ends up just being storage or something, I think you have to have that big backpack piece or whatever it is to maintain what this figure looks like.
fair enough. But I love when it comes to the Super Joes, the blue, again, the giant tools, because there's a lot of power packs that, I mean, I would love to see them all. Like, if you were going to do a deluxe, give me the Magnetools and the giant radar scanner that attaches to like his stomach. Give me all of that in one figure, and that would just be amazing. But out of all of them, that's the super scanner in that ad right there.
What if, I'm trying to think how this would work. Because what I'm envisioning is something similar to the generic military figures that Classified has done, the 60th anniversary or whatever they are now, that are the same buck and come with these. I'm trying to think of a way that they just...
Same buck, but different colors.
Yeah, it has to be the different colors, because I was trying to think of a way that they come with all the accessories and you just... And that compels people to buy multiples of the same thing. So you swap them out, but then they're not the same. They're not the different colors like these are. So
right.
There's something there, though. There's something there. I like it. All right.
What's next? All right. So next is 1994. I see your sci-fi, but I'm going to raise you a Star Brigade sci-fi.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that.
In his glorious yellow spacesuit that just looks...
Yeah.
I mean, I love the original sci-fi. He is very sleek.
Dude, forget the spacesuit. Look at that visor.
Right. This says science fiction to me.
And that big Air Raiders looking backpack with the hook on it, so he can slide down a space rope.
Yep.
I guess.
Like, there is just a part of me that has always thought he was probably designed and meant to be a Mega Marine, and they just changed something at the last second.
Look at the quilting on his uniform. This is great. He's got the one silver like cyborg glove. He's fantastic.
All right. And jumping back to 1993, not as I rush and mistakenly typed 1933.
You and your 1933 G.I. Joes. I knew it was coming.
Bully. We're going to go with Star Brigade Heavy Duty, because I need that Viking helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Goodness.
Yes. Yes.
He would have to be deluxe because he'd be a little bit. He needs to be bigger.
All the
because
Star
it's-
Brigade figures would need to be deluxe because I've got a
yeah,
couple
like
on.
your inside armor. You're not snake armor huge,
Right.
but give me the cannon arm and give me that Viking helmet.
Yes. Love it. All right.
All right. So jumping ahead.
Which, by the way, real quick, green camouflage armor in space. Let's go. All right.
Jumping ahead to 2003,
Ooh.
Big
boy.
Brawler version 2, or as I like to call him, Tiger Force Big Brawler.
Yes, well, he was Tiger Force Big Brawler, wasn't he?
Because he's not listed as such.
I think he came in that set, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when you look him up, it just says Big Brawler version 2. But
there's how I swap between tabs. Okay. What year was it? 2003?
2003. He will look awesome next to Tiger Force Outback on the shelf. Right there he is, right next to the green Jinx.
Which I am a huge fan of that green Jinx. Yeah, he's great.
Yep.
Well, except for those legs are a little loony, but I think they're. Are they taken from the original Big Brawler, or are they from something else? Those are crazy.
Good question. I have the original.
He has pouches going down the front of his legs, and then like bandoliers of shotgun shells coming out of the pouches and wrapping around his legs. But they're
Seems like that
all
would limit
painted,
your mobility.
They're all painted camo. Limit your circulation. Right. That is wacky.
Weird. Wild.
All right. Very good.
So after that, I did not get the year down, but Mercer version 2. Now we all want a Skybound Mercer. I know.
Was that 92? I'm going to guess 92. I might be wrong. Oh, jeez. I think I am wrong. It might be.
I think he was earlier than that.
90
or 91.
Possibly 91. I don't see him in 90. There. Yeah, 91.
Yeah, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Next to Disco Lowlight, who almost made
my list.
Once again, good job zooming in.
Yeah,
Yo, Joe.
I love this version. If Skybound did not exist, this is the version I would want over the first release. And you all can hate me for it. That's okay. All right. So here's another one. You're probably just gonna have to do a Google image search. But I want the Fun School Colors version of Spearhead and Max. And surprisingly, it's because they're a little more muted and dark. Like he's got the tan chest, but the arms are like a darker brown. And he has blue boots.
Is it this?
Yeah.
Is this it? All right.
For whatever reason, it draws my eye and I like it. I mean, I obviously really like the original Spearhead and Max, but if you were to tell me the line was ending, that is the version I would want. And my last pick.
You're on your own with that one.
Totally fine. Wait till we get to the Cobras. But my number 16, we're going to go to 1988. And I know you said we don't need any more Tiger Force or Night Force, but we're going to go with Night Force Sneak Peek. Because I think he needs to be in the line, but the Night Force colors make way more sense for his specialty.
As much as I want the original colors, I'm not going to disagree with that. I think. Oh, I'm not sharing. What happened?
Sharing is caring, Dave.
Sharing is caring. All right, here we go. Yeah, well, so I don't like his green pants though.
So they can color those gray.
Okay, that's fine then.
Because
I
it's
now
Night
find
Force. But the
even
black.
if they were darker green, I think I'd be okay with them. But yeah, from the waist up, this is the original sneak peek is more exciting to look at. But from the waist up, this one really does make more sense.
In a world where there are drones that are this big that can like infiltrate like enemy lines and take pictures, does sneak peek make any sense anymore? Hey, I've got this giant periscope. I can see over this hill.
Yes.
Are you telling me you wouldn't carry a 3-foot periscope into battle if you had the opportunity? Lies, sir, lies.
There are bushes on the battlefield that he can hide in.
That's right.
And sneak a peek. But I also, real quickly, want to give a shout out to Redfin01. Welcome to the show. Because they like the Fun School variant Spearhead too. So you all can it.
All right, let's see. What do we got? We got some comments in here we're going to get to real quick before we wrap this thing up. White Vegeta says, okay, hear me out. Shared Universe, Sublines, Mask, and Humanoids, Gem, Spiral Zone. Who else? Yeah, let's go. I don't think Spiral Zone is under the Hasbro banner, but I would love updated Spiral Zone toys. I'm in for all of that. Jeremy Kimberlin points out those are Salvo's legs on Big Brawler. I didn't think they were his. Yes, all Night Force figures. That's not a bad call.
Yorktown Joe, I put an extra repeater head on a crankcase body and made my own APC driver in the 1980s, codename Bus Driver. That's brilliant.
Also from Jeremy Kimberlin, update sneak peek to be a drone operator. Yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, you got to have that periscope.
Yeah.
Like, well, give him the drone. Make it launch out of the periscope. I don't know.
Redfin says, when the stuff hits the fan, I'm dropping that periscope. No, you're using that periscope to smash in the head of whoever you are fighting.
All right. What else is it? Was that it?
That's it.
That is it. And that brings us to the final segment of the show. A little something we like to call Sound Off.
Which, real quickly, at the very beginning of the show, we got a question. And so I told them in the chat we would try to hit it in Sound Off. It's a quick one.
Did it come in the chat or did it?
Yeah, somebody asked a question during our news part, and I was like, "Ooh, that would make a better Sound Off."
Oh, okay.
So,
all right. Well, it is time for Sound Off. If you're following Audible Interlude podcast on Instagram, and you should be, then every time we're going to do a live stream earlier in the day, we will post a Sound Off requesting what you want to talk about on the show. First up from Silent Interlude, just a little update here. Heavy Armor Toys in the Navy Kickstarter has apparently started shipping, but I haven't gotten mine yet. And for anybody that doesn't know, Heavy Armor Toys is doing basically troop builders, really great looking figures. They have done Army Infantry, these sailors, and I think one of like commandos or something. I know they've done at least one other figure, but check out Heavy Armor Toys. We all know how to use Google, but these sailors look great. And if you have a USS Flag, I don't know how you don't buy a bunch of these, because how cool is it going to look to have all of these sailors on your flag? All right, next up, Tom.Henry. I saw an Energon Universe G.I. Joe ash can that was labeled Night Force. It had Flint and Lady J in that weird I'm looking at my hand pose in Night Force style gear. I don't know what that means. Anyways, it's old, but I had somehow missed it. But I'm hoping they explain what that whole other Joe team is doing and they don't just drop it. I can guarantee you they're not going to just drop it. We will absolutely be seeing what's going on with that other team. And I sent Tom.Henry a message saying, shoot me a picture of this, and I didn't hear anything, so we'll follow up on this next week if we do get something. And then the second part, I also saw, all right, get ready, everybody. Please prepare yourselves for this. I also saw an interesting theory that Risk is to be Snake Eyes down the line. Mix of fighting styles, listens to Stalker, something about risking Snake Eyes when you roll the dice too many times. Interesting theory, but I personally hope Risk goes the way of rock and roll. Hashtag Thang 2025.
I feel like we mentioned that in one of our
Tom.Henry, do you even listen to the show? Literally, every time we've talked about the Energon Universe comic, I have said Risk is going to be Snake Eyes. Every time. Matter of fact, Tom.Henry, I bet you're not even following my action figure fan fiction of Risk and Snake Eyes, where Snake Eyes has traveled back from the future to keep himself from being disfigured and turned into it, and they meet each other, but they end up falling in love. Risk and Snake Eyes. Love is Risky on Instagram. Give it a follow, and maybe next time you won't be surprised when somebody brings up a theory that I originated. Anyway, moving on.
Let's hope the theory is wrong. But
anyway, Tom.Henry, we love you, and we do support the Fang in 2025. All right. Oh, this was supposed to be the before I decided I was gonna act out that whole action figure thing. This was gonna be the image response to that quote. All right. So Kristian, what was our question?
So let's bring it back to reality here. Yorktown Joe.
Reality? Are you telling me that Risk and Snake Eyes fan fiction is not a figure fan fiction? Is not reality?
Listen, if it exists, there's a ship of it. So I've no doubt.
And let me tell you, this ship is a wreck.
Risk gets no love in this podcast.
That is true.
But Yorktown Joe wants to know, would a Fatal Fluffy fight with or against members of Operation Monster Force? I say against.
I also say against.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Fatal Fluffies are, like, clearly evil monsters. Yeah, that would definitely be against. But I'll tell you right now, if there was any way... Well, no, we don't even need to say if Fresh Monkey Fiction could do Fatal Fluffies, because if we get them in classified, they will look... I mean, I'm not going to lie, Operation Monster Force figures are a different level of quality from classified. They just are. And they're pricier as such. But if we get a classified Fatal Fluffy, it's going to look incredible. So I'm not even going to say I wish Fresh Monkey Fiction could do one, because if they do it in classified, it's going to be great. But yes, it would be against the good guys in Operation.
But I think they would even be against the Night King. Like, I just think they're a chaotic, almost Bigfoot element. Like, they are just something that occasionally you run across, and look, they turn into these big giant things that just want to destroy.
They're being used to control people on that satellite, so they're not really chaotic.
Okay.
we could we'll have to dip into some Fatal Fluffy fan fiction at some point in the future. But for now, that is all the show we've got this week. Thank you for driving me into an insane rage, Tom Henry. Noel, why don't you tell us a little bit about The Finest?
The Finest is an international G.I. Joe costuming club. Some of the picks that we talked about tonight. We've had many members of our ranks that have actually worn those costumes. And if you would like to dress up as one of your favorite Joes and join us, we raise money for a great organization called Canines for Warriors. Check out thefinestcc.com or come see us at Toylanta. We'll be there here in just a few weeks.
And Kristian, where can we find that toy photography you do so well?
You can find me on Instagram under the name Legion Cub.
So our next live stream is February the 24th. Put it on your calendar. But next week we will be back with an audio episode, back to segments, having some fun. Until then, yo, Joe.
Will be talked about next time.